It's The Late Show, tonight starring George Miller. George guest star football bad boy Brian Bosworth, The Rippingtons, Madonna's choreographer Shabba-Doo, and the comedy of Howard Buzzgang. I'm Clint Holmes with Mark Hudson and The Late Show Band. And now, ladies and gentlemen, George Miller.
George Miller is a celebrated stand-up comedian. Likeable, recognizable, hilarious, and most importantly, uses absolutely clean material. George has hosted or been a guest on hundreds of television programs, including over 100 appearances on the prestigious Tonight Show and David Letterman shows. Not many can make that claim.
Well, George Miller is with us tonight. He's been many times on this show and even more on the Dave Letterman show. George appears frequently at both the Laugh Factory and the Improvisation in Hollywood. Would you welcome, please, George Miller?
Our comedian tonight is a veteran, and we hope that you are a fan, and if you're not, then you'll make a wonderful discovery. He has an interesting record. He's combined over 100 times on The Tonight Show and The Letterman Show. He's been such a favorite guest on those shows. I'm sure you know the comedy of George Miller. George!
Our next guest is a well-known comedian. You've seen this man many, many times before all over television. He will be appearing at a place called the Laugh Factory in Memphis, April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the suave, the debonair, George Miller.
My next guest is a very talented comedian and an old buddy. He'll be appearing at the Flamingo Hotel in Reno, Nevada, August 29th to September 3rd. And this Friday and Saturday, he'll be at the main room at the Comedy Store right here in Hollywood. Please welcome George Miller.
Thank you very much. Thank you. How you doing? I am too. Where y'all from? Well, I am too. That's just great. I've been traveling all over the country with my wife and daughter. She's 17 now, and my daughter is 4. So I haven't always done this. They used to sell hearing aids door to door. That's a tough job because your best prospects never answer. My first job in California, I worked at the Sizzler restaurant. I was a salad bar cheater spotter.
In addition to his television appearances, George has starred at many of the top casinos in America. From Caesar's Palace and the Riviera Hotel in Las Vegas to the Reno Hilton and Harrah's in Atlantic City. Wherever George has performed, he has made a lasting impression.
Thank you.
George is likable. I mean, that's the key. I mean, George gets on stage, you feel like he's an old friend. There he is wearing his comfortable sweater, and he looks, you know, like a guy that lives next door, which is the biggest asset a comic can have, being likable.
George knows things about me that nobody else knows, and I know things about George which I've reported to the police.
I wanted to tell you something, really, because, in all seriousness...
It's Opie Taylor, ladies and gentlemen. We grew up with him on television.
Wait a minute. I want to tell him something, and that is, publicly, for the last 6 years, on behalf of myself, you, all the comedians, and all the nation, thank you, Dave, for wasting everybody's time.
In addition to his stand-up comedy routine, George has a special program that he offers to corporate meetings and special events. He is introduced to your meeting as Dr. George Miller, one of the country's leading motivational speakers, a la Les Brown or Tony Robbins. Your audience will be expecting an inspirational message, but will instead receive and be delighted with George's good-natured cynicism.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How are you? Pretty good? I am too. Where are y'all from? Well, I am too. That's just great. Okay, You know, people ask me, they say, what is it like to be one of the country's leading motivational speakers? And I always tell them the same thing. It's awful. I'm sick of it. I can't stand my life. And I say that in the most motivational way. First of all, you got to fly a lot. When you fly, they always insult your intelligence. For those passengers with connecting flights, see an agent at the gate. Well, thanks. I usually just wander around, hoping to spot a plane that's going my way. It's always so confining on that airplane, and then they make this announcement. The captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign, so you are free to move about the cabin. Gee, what a blast. Why don't I just go into that little bathroom and hang myself? Ever have to drink Maalox? Now on the bottle it says, great new taste. Oh yeah, I'll bet it's nectar from the gods. Television, they think we're stupid. They want us to believe that women are attracted to Spuds McKenzie, this ugly, hairless dog that looks like a pig with a pirate patch. Jay Leno for those corn chips. Crunch all you want. We'll make more. Gee, I thought when I got full, the factory shut down. Yeah, I know he's the host. I realize that. Raid kills bugs dead. That's nice. I hate to see a roach in a coma. Caress before you dress. Thank you very much. I'd been doing it wrong for years. Irregularity used to be a problem. Well, what is it now? An opportunity? They think we're stupid. Why are people drinking Diet Coke? Because they're fat and thirsty. Excedrin is the strongest medication you can buy without a prescription. You want to bet? If I suffer from hemorrhoids, Preparation H is going to be right by my side. Well, he's going to suffer because he's not using it correctly. Do you have a problem with cat box odor? Yeah, and I'm worried about it. I don't have a cat or a cat box. Thanks a lot. I enjoyed talking to you. Thanks a lot.
Here's what corporate America has to say about George. Dear George, I want to thank you again for the outstanding show you put on for my customers in Detroit. I've seen a lot of shows, but that was without doubt the finest I've ever witnessed. Sincerely, Kenneth D. Roberts, Vice President and General Manager, Vallejo Engine Cooling.
My mom was here, you know, and is your mom...
Dear George, I wanted to drop you a note thanking you for your outstanding performance at our annual meeting. I had seen you on The Tonight Show and David Letterman and loved you, but in person, you really blew us away. Scott Schaefer, Director of Marketing, Esther Books. And lastly, to whom it may concern, recently American Leisure had the pleasure of being entertained by George Miller at our annual Fiesta Night. George Miller made this event one of our most memorable. His comedic talents had our clients talking about this event for months. George Miller was a pleasure to work with. Should we require services such as his in the future, we will not hesitate to contact him. We highly recommend him and believe that you would be delighted with his performance. Debbie White Johnson, Sales and Marketing, American Leisure. So, whether you need George Miller, the stand-up comedian, or Dr. George Miller, the imposter, George will make your next event humorous, warm, and most importantly, memorable.
I enjoyed talking to you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.